Hi everyone, my name is Wan Qing. I'm currently the Chief Product Officer at Hatch. Basically at Hatch, what we do is that we are a training and job matching enterprise. Our goal is to increase the employability of students that come into the programs. Basically what we have identified is that a lot of youths are very frustrated with where they are in their jobs. We want to empower them to find and pursue their passions in the digital and design industries. So our flagship program is called the Hatch Immersive Program. What we do is that we train students in a 2-month crash course into the fundamental skills required to secure an entry-level position in the digital and design industries, currently now only in UI, UX and digital marketing. And then we place them into an internship, and hopefully if they succeed in the internship, they will pursue a full-time position in the company. That's a good question. I think that over time, when I first started, I thought that, I guess like my idea of a social enterprise kind of leaned towards more of a charity model or NPO where like you are just focused on the beneficiaries. But I increasingly see that it is very equally powerful and equally important to consider the fact of like other sustainability kind of issues that comes with running a social enterprise. So like the financial sustainability, the sustainability of continuing the impact. So to me today, I think that even though the definition of a social enterprise is widely contested, what we hold true and what drives what we do at Hatch, it's really very much trying to balance delivering impact to your beneficiaries and at the same time ensuring that it does not compromise on profits. So both must be quite balanced, and at any point in time, a social enterprise needs to drive and maximize the impact that they deliver. Yeah, so at any point in time, it's always about impact above profits. Yeah. Okay, so basically the founder, he was at the fire station serving in the fire station during his national service. Something that he realized which was quite interesting to him was he saw that a lot of his men that he led could not progress in the career ladder because they did not have necessary qualifications. And that was something that puzzled him a lot. Why is it that someone who may have the relevant experiences and skills could not progress just because they don't have a degree cert? And he sought to try to find a solution to kind of like empower youth. And then what we realized in the landscape at the time was that a lot of companies, especially startups and SMEs, were moving more towards like the digital and design industries, and a lot of the skills that required in the digital and design industries did not require a degree or certification. What they do require is for you to have that kind of experiences and relevant skills to secure, at the very least, like know what you're doing, and then after you can train on the job. So we decided to bring these two groups together. So we started with the experiment. We were like, okay, is there a way that we can train someone in the fundamental skills to secure an entry-level position, and can that person eventually grow to secure a full-time position in the company? Yeah. So that's how we started at Hatch. I think at the very beginning, we started with like a very niche group. We wanted to empower this group of youths that Singapore defines as someone who's disadvantaged. Working with the disadvantaged youths was difficult in the beginning because in the social sector, what you will realize is that it is a very strong trust game. And if you're a new player in the game, right, a lot of the social workers have this like, they're kind of like gatekeepers because they can't let anyone come in and interact with youths. They've been very used to student groups coming and leaving and seeing the impact of like student volunteers who are not committed, just come and go as and when they want, and that has very detrimental effects on like the youth's development and growth. So at the very beginning, it was a lot of like trying to convince people that A, this model works, and B, that we are trustworthy to work with. The first point on like the model works was because in the space itself right now, right, it is quite unheard of to kind of like, I hack the system and kind of create a shortcut for you. I say that you can train in UI UX in 2 months and then you can get a job, which is essentially saying that your university degree could be useless altogether. So that's something that we had to try to work around in the very beginning. A lot of like questions on why should you exist in this space, what makes you think that you have the qualifications required to drive the project. Yeah. In the very beginning, the team, we were very inexperienced. What we were under Kai-En's. We received a lot of Kai-En's like guidance and support and mentorship throughout our project, like the very beginning. Kai-En had a very kind and motherly, like I don't know if you've ever spoken to Kai-En before. Kai-En was very, she linked us up with the relevant people whenever she could, and she kind of checked in with us as and when. I think the biggest support that we actually received from SIC was the very belief that we could do it. I think at the very start, right, we kind of like felt that we were like fighting like world forces, you know, kind of thing. Like when you're starting out, you just feel like everything is against you. But one thing that we did feel a lot from the community was that we could do it, and everyone was doing their best to try to make sure that we did it, and they kind of put in whatever resources they had to help us in whatever way they could, and that was very powerful at the very beginning, where a lot of things were not really working out, and like you try to figure things out and everything. Yeah. I don't think that I have a proudest one. I think I would be really proud if like I can say very confidently to anyone that, you know, hey, you know, qualifications don't really work anymore. But I do think that a lot of my pride in my work and also my team, we are very grounded in the fact that we know that the youths that come into the program really grow, and that's something that we really do see every day. I think one thing that we realize is that everyone goes at their own pace. Like sometimes they may not be able to take up the internship or complete the internship based on like different kind of like things that they face. But one thing that is for sure is that when we see the youths kind of own their own learning, when they see themselves believing themselves, when they see that they are able to confidently say very certainly that, you know, this is something that I want to do, this is something that I don't want to do, and they put in all the effort to do it, that's something that we are all very proud of in the team. And it drives us to continue to do what we do. I think for us on a very practical level, in terms of sustainability also, is to scale the number of students that we can impact. I think in a few years' time, we are looking at possibly expanding the groups that we work with, because currently now, we started working with disadvantaged youths who are interested in the digital and design industry. But slowly as we kind of moved along, we realized that there was a much larger group now. A lot of youths were actually very frustrated with where their jobs are. They really want to change something in their lives, but they don't really know how to. At Hatch, we kind of provide them the avenue to reduce the anxiety of making a career switch. So we want to increase the impact and the word of mouth of what we do. A lot of things it's in the education space, it's very driven by legacy and also like by brand name kind of industry. We want to change that and show to people that, you know, hey, there is this program out there, you can possibly join. It might be something for you. So possibly in 3 years' time, we might be expanding to different tracks, because I think in the digital and design industries, there are a lot of upcoming digital skills that you may require. That's one thing. The second thing that we do see is possibly working with more groups, so like people with disabilities, and expanding the impact that we do in general. I have a lot of, I think retrospectively, one thing that is very popular, because I kind of am somewhere a little further from where everyone has started already. I think one thing that I would say to everyone is do not underestimate the power of sustainability of your company. That is one thing that will kill or make your company. It is very important to keep driving in the notion of like what is going to make your social enterprise carry on, because one thing about working in a social enterprise that I think the stakes are higher for us as compared to someone who's starting a business, is that there are lives at stake that we work with. If you don't consider sustainability, you are going to be just another project that comes in and goes. Yeah. So it is very important to make sure that you make money. I think one thing is in the impact space, is very difficult to kind of balance the two of trying to make money at the same time like create impact. Yeah, that's something that a lot of people would struggle with, because sometimes it comes at a compromise of like quality, sometimes it comes at a compromise of like more time and resources. So sustainability is very important. It is going to be what makes or kills you. Yeah. The second is that I would say to every budding social entrepreneur out there is believe in yourself. I think this is something that I would have told myself maybe like when I first started Hatch lah, that there will never come a time when you feel like you have everything under control. It will always be that you need to exist in this state of chaos and you need to be okay with it. I think at the start I was wishing that like I was wondering if it's something that I was doing wrong that made me feel like I never have anything in control. I feel like, oh my god, why have I not done this? Why have this thing not done, that kind of thing. And you start to realize that if you're on this journey and you're running a startup, you just kind of have to be okay with the chaos. And there is nothing wrong with the chaos, it's just a part of the journey. It sometimes comes with like the fact that we are not as experienced as we hope we are. And that's okay. Like I think a part of it is learning along the way. Yeah. So when I first started, I had this thought of like, is it better if I started later down the road where I'm more experienced and I'm more tired and like I can like do something with much less effort lah. A lot of things are more effortful now because of the fact that you are young and you're not experienced. But then again, with that being said, there is a lot of value in like trying to do whatever you want to do right now because when you're young, you don't have a lot of stakes lah. You kind of don't have a family to answer to. You don't have to worry about different things. So believe in yourself. Always question whether your solution is needed or not. It's a lot of having tough conversations within the team and within yourselves whether this is something that you want to do. And at the end of it, know that this journey is worth it. It is difficult, it's not easy. But if you know in your heart that this is what you want to do, go for it. I think a lot of work that we do relies on the word of mouth. There is a very strong trust scheme, especially in a space where it is very cluttered. So in the education space that we work in, there's a lot of things that we do that we know provides a lot of value, but sometimes it gets strong out. One thing that people can do to support us is definitely to like, follow and subscribe to all our different social media pages. We have like a bunch of them. So there is one on Facebook, there is Instagram. We are at Hatching now. We do run regular workshops and webinars that we call the Digital Pathways for All series. In this series, what we do is that we open up parts of our curriculum for the public to kind of and sort of demystify the things that go on in the industry, such that and also to pick the interest up. For us as a team, it's fun to run because like we get to engage our different mentors and trainers. If you're free, please do feel free to come over to our different programs, and at any point in time, if any of you are very, very lost about what you want to do in your career, feel free to reach out to us. We kind of exist in a space where we advise young adults and youths about what they want to do in their lives. So if you feel a bit lonely and you're listening here, our doors are always open. You can write to us. Come join us at NUS SIC to kickstart your social entrepreneurship journey.